Just under 2 weeks ago, I completed the Copenhagen Marathon, and I thought it would be a good time to sit down and reflect on the race, how it went, and how I'm feeling about things, how I feel like I performed, what I think I could have done differently, what I think I've learned, the positives, the highs and lows. I thought I'd put it all into one video rather than at the end of the marathon doing a bit of a debrief when I was sitting in Copenhagen and the emotions of running a marathon were still quite raw. I absolutely hate it when the interview boxers that have been for 10 rounds and they're staggering all over the place, they've been semi-knocked out and they've had hundreds of punches to the head, and then they get in the ring on a microphone like a minute after the bout's finished and they're going off saying all things that they don't really mean, things that they don't really understand, things that they're going to regret because the emotions are still so raw and they're absolutely drained. So I thought the best way to approach this topic would be wait until I get home. I feel now that I'm ready to chat about things now that the dust settled and it's been a couple of weeks, and I feel like I can think about the race itself rationally, and I feel like I'm in a point now where I can look at it really honestly without it being too ridiculous. One thing that I thought was important to mention straight off the bat was I got a massive PB, nearly 20 minutes cut off my first ever marathon time. I shaved off I think like 18 minutes off my first marathon time, so in the space of a year I feel like that's good progress. I feel like my running has become more consistent, I'm training better, I've become a much better runner based on my other race times, and I think in general I am nippier, I train more efficiently, and I think just overall I'm a better athlete in that sense, so really happy with the big PB. I know for example that my half marathon PB time suggests that my marathon time should now be a little bit quicker, but the marathon is a beast and there's absolutely no predicting how it's going to go on race day, so just got to respect the distance and think it is what it is. That's fine that my time sits where it is now. All my race times for distances for my age group are above average, and I think that's amazing that I've got to this point. I'm not by any means an elite runner, I'm not sub-elite, I'll never be a championship pace runner. I'm so far off a lot of talented runners around me, and that's absolutely fine because I'm on my own journey, I'm doing my own thing, and I'm focusing on my own fitness and my own ability. The fact that I can even run like this is massive to me. I was chatting to my mum the other day and she remembers when I was a little kid and she had to get like basically a mini skateboard fitted to the back of my brother's pram because my asthma was so bad that I couldn't walk more than a few meters without nearly having an asthma attack. So
my asthma's gone. Listen to me breathe.
the fact that as a 30-year-old adult I can run marathons, that's never not going to be something that I feel really blessed to be able to do. And next I wanted to speak about the crowds in Copenhagen. They were so loud in certain places. There were some quieter sections of the course. I think on the whole Barcelona was probably louder, but the loud sections in Copenhagen and the big cheer zones there were insane. I know that some of the local run clubs had organised cheer zones and stuff, and they were just, yeah, they were crazy. It was amazing running through them. The noise levels were amazing. It was like so good. There's so many people, especially in the second half of the race, looking me in the eye, shouting my name, you know, screaming, "Come on Joe, you've got this." Lots of "Let's go Joes." Yeah, honestly the crowds kept me going so much when I was getting into a bit of a dark place. So honestly just want to say a massive thank you to the crowds in Copenhagen, and especially the group I was out there with. They kept me going. Every time I saw them at the side of the road, it was just like a massive motivational boost, and my morale was lifted, and I just felt like, I don't know what it is, but when someone shouts your name and there's someone ringing a bloody cowbell, I don't know, it just gets me so pumped up. And I think I love the way that cities show up in absolute force to just shout at people running a long way. It's really, like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's just so kind that people spend their day encouraging you and supporting you to do something so difficult. Another positive for the day was my race kit didn't let me down one bit. The shoes were really comfortable. I felt amazing in them. I felt strong, I felt quick, I felt like my feet didn't hurt at the end, which for a marathon is pretty good for me, I reckon, because last year my feet were in absolute bits at the end. So the fact that this year they didn't actually hurt at all was a massive win for me. I absolutely covered myself in body glide before the race and I had no chafing at all. My toenails were fine. My body was in a good state at the end of the marathon, apart from just being exhausted, so that was another big positive for me. Really happy with that. My knee was absolutely fine, which I was a little bit worried about in the last few weeks of training, so yeah, can't fault that really. My body was perfect for it. Next, I think what I'm going to do is I'll speak about the whole race day experience in general. So I got up super early, got up at about 6, got down to the hotel lobby, had a coffee and decided to get my breakfast down me, had a couple of cereal bars and a bit of fruit. In hindsight, I don't think that was enough. Should have had more. I had some dates as well, I think. But yeah, I feel like I probably could have had a better breakfast. I'd eaten quite a lot the day before, but I think in general the breakfast probably wasn't enough. But I got coffee down me, got some electrolytes down me, and got quite a bit of water down me as well. So I felt good going to the starting line. I didn't feel sluggish. I didn't feel like I'd had too much or too little at that time. I felt good. It felt like the right amount. But I just think in general probably could have had a little bit more. Maybe should have had some cereal or something with a bit more sustenance, maybe some bagels or something to learn from for next time, because I know last year in Barcelona I probably ate too much in the morning and then felt a bit sluggish at the start. So still to get nutrition and fueling right. It's only my second marathon, so I don't know, maybe I'll get it right one day, that's fine. Third time lucky maybe. We left the hotel, we got the metro to the park where the start line was. The toilet queues were pretty bad. I thought we had enough time, but we probably left it a little bit late. We did have to have a very slight jog / power walk to the start line. When we got to the starting waves, it was a little bit of a shit show. I don't know if that's because we were too late or they just weren't very well organised. I suspect it was because we were maybe a little bit later than we should have been. We couldn't find a dedicated time to start for our wave. Everyone's bibs had a designated colour to start in a certain zone to go off at the right time, obviously based on what pace you're doing. And we ended up in a mix of like 3 different colours at the start line. Basically there was like 3 different colours all trying to start at the same time, and everybody was going at different paces. So we ended up behind the 350 pacer and behind the 340 pacer, and I wanted to be on the 330 pacer to start with to see how I could get on at the start of the race. So we had a massive pace group of 350s running in front of us and a massive group of 340s running in front of us. The first 5k we spent weaving trying to get around that 350 group because the road was so busy we just couldn't get any space to get around the whole group. So we held up quite a lot in the first half of the race just trying to get past those. I think we should have been with the pacers in the wave in front that set off a few minutes earlier, so should have had some more room on the course really, but it was mobbed during that pace group. So started off a little bit stressed, trying to get the right time, trying to get the right pace each kilometre. We were losing 5 to 10 seconds a kilometre and I was getting a little bit wound up by it. I wanted to try and dip under 5 minutes per kilometre for each kilometre for the race. The first few were coming in at like 5:10, 5:11, 5:15, something like that, and I was getting a bit stressed out that we couldn't get that time down because I knew that every 10-15 seconds is going to then add up to trying to cut back a few minutes at the end of the race, and I know that marathons are such a long way that you can't guarantee you're going to get that time back later on. So I wanted to try and get that time down early on, but it was quite a struggle. Got my first gel down at like about half an hour in, got my second gel down about an hour in, and then had my third gel about an hour and a half into the race. So I think we were about 17k deep at this point when I had my third gel. I was trying to get 2 of the SIS beta fuel gels down an hour, which I think might have been a bit too much carbs. I know people say you should get like 1 gram per kilo of your body weight, so these gels would put me over the limit of what I should have been putting in. In my head I thought if I can get a good amount of fuel in I won't end up bonking. I don't know, maybe in hindsight I was fueling up too much during the race with gels and not enough beforehand with food. So when I had my third gel, after about an hour and a half, I started to feel pretty sick. I think it was my third gel that made me feel sick, or my fourth, I can't remember. By the time I was like 2 hours in, I started to feel absolutely horrendous. I had the worst stomach cramping and sick feeling in my stomach. I honestly felt like every step that I took, I felt like I was about to throw up. I honestly thought I was going to be that guy at the side of the road chucking up. So it was a pretty grim experience. I started to feel awful. I was still holding on to my pace, I think until like after 30k I still held on to it despite feeling like absolute shit. Hugo did really well to keep me going. He was talking me through even when I couldn't really speak. He was constantly like encouraging me, so yeah, thank you Hugo. He dragged me around to like 32k or something before it all went a bit wrong. But yeah, once I started to feel really sick, it was a bit of a battle to the end. I started to really struggle. Even getting water down was a task, and then there was no chance of getting any gels down either. So I think after like the first maybe 3 or 4 gels I didn't take another one. I fueled up for the first half of the race, and then after that I just couldn't get anything down. Once I passed through 30k, that's when I started to notice that things were going wrong. Once I hit 35k I definitely had slowed down a lot. My pace was going, I just couldn't claw it back. It was getting really difficult to bring the pace down, and I was just really like up against it. I started to feel a bit heavier with feeling sick, and like I just couldn't kick on the way that I wanted to, and I had been able to do all training. The frustrating thing is I trained with these gels to stop this happening. I wanted to make my stomach stronger through training, so literally from my first training run, in the first week of training, I was taking gels and trying to get used to them. I just think with the stress of a race, maybe the stress of the pace, I know that stress can really disrupt your stomach, and I think on this occasion sadly it's got the better of me. As my pace dropped, I don't know, my head won a little bit. I stopped a couple of times at the side of the road to try and be sick, to try and get the gel up, thinking if I can be sick then I can take another gel at least, and like hopefully the stomach pain had reset and I could fuel and kick on and still finish strong. The next big thing that really sent my head was the 340 pacer passed me again with that group, so I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then it felt absolutely deflating seeing the group that I was meant to be finishing 10 minutes ahead of pass me again. I know that with start times and stuff it wouldn't have been 10 minutes, but I'll have only finished a couple of minutes after them on like gun time and everything. But I stopped at one of the water stations and drank quite a lot of water, which definitely helped, because I know that I just couldn't get it right. I didn't feel like I was overheating or anything. The temperature was perfect for racing a marathon. I think it was like 10 to 13 degrees, so it was perfect for racing. Don't know if like sweat loss and electrolytes and that kind of thing would have been a problem too much. I think it was more just the fact that the gels and the carb levels probably just wasn't right on the day. I don't know the science, I don't know perfectly what I could have done differently, but yeah, it didn't work out perfectly for me on the day. In terms of what I achieved in the marathon, I think that I'm still really happy. I know people set like an A goal, a B goal and a C goal. This definitely fell under the C goal, which was just a PB, no matter what pace it is. If I've come in 1 minute under, it's still a PB, and I've still finished the marathon faster than I did last time, so it was probably a C goal performance, which is still a good performance, and I'm not annoyed. There's so much to learn from the marathon distance, and I know that most good runners mostly get marathons wrong. It's rare that people just consecutively PB without any issues and without any grumbles or aches and pains. So I think the fact that my body held up, it was just my stomach that was a bit of a crap problem really. The fact that I finished the marathon in like 3:41, when last year I was worried that I couldn't even finish a marathon. So yeah, I'm dead happy. My B goal would have been to break 3:40, so I missed out on that by about a minute and a bit. My A goal would have been to break 3:30, which I think fitness wise I was fit enough to do. All the paces I was hitting through training, all the training runs pointed towards me being fit enough to do that, and I think I should be able to beat that. I probably should be able to beat 3:25 or push for 3:20. I think another training block getting ready for another marathon, I should be in a good shape to really chop this time down, but it's just gonna take time to train up again. But yeah, it's all a learning experience, and the fact that I'm sitting here getting a little bit wound up about not hitting certain times and stuff, it's such a privilege. I think the fact that I can run marathons is amazing, and I feel so blessed that I can be in this position to sit here. Like, I should have shaved like 11 minutes off my time, but my stomach felt bad. It's like, I need to really like hear myself sometimes, but you know, when you've got a target and you're aiming towards something and you miss out on it, it's a bit of a shame, but I'm still really happy. I still had such an amazing time in Copenhagen. I really enjoyed the race. Running with 20,000 other runners around such a beautiful city was an amazing experience, and I'll cherish it forever. So now that this marathon block's done, it's deciding what's next for me. My next race at the moment is in 2 months' time. It's the 8 Stations Ultra up in Whitby. It's a 30-mile race from Whitby to Pickering, following along between all the little old steam train stations between Whitby and Pickering. So it's over the North Yorkshire Moors, and it'll be really difficult. It's going to be really hard, but I'm getting to run this with my brother, so I don't think we're going for a set time. I think we're just going to try and enjoy it. I think we're just going to try and keep it steady, just finish the distance. It'll be Eddie's first time anywhere near a marathon distance, let alone an ultra, so it's going to be hard for both of us, but I think Eddie will be absolutely fine, but it'll be a bit of a shock to his system going over that distance, I think, as it will be me. This morning I had my first run since getting up from Denmark. It was an 8k, pretty easy run. I got a bit daft and went a bit quicker, so I need to get better at that. I need to work on my base training, smash all the base training, take my tempo and threshold work a little bit more seriously. Alongside trying to get all my base training right, I am actively looking to try and strengthen up a little bit. I'm also looking to improve a bit of cross training. So yesterday evening I did 45 minutes on the elliptical, which was bloody awful. I don't know how people do it, but I know that working on cardio fitness without the strain on the body is going to benefit me. So I'm going to try and keep on top of that. I'm going to get back on the stair stepper again. I'm going to try and do at least 1 session a week, if not 2. So balancing all of this with regular running is still going to be pretty tiring and full on. Hopefully when it comes to doing an ultra marathon and hitting race day, it'll all be worth it. So just got to stick tight for that. After that, I'm not too sure. I need to figure out what marathon I want to take on next, because I'm so far from done with marathon distance. It's a beast that I'm still willing to tackle, so I think I'll be looking to try and sort out my next marathon soon. I also really want to work on getting down my 5k and 10k time, but also my half marathon time, so I just need to line up some races for the rest of the year and figure out how my year's looking. In the meantime, on this channel, I'll still be trying to post some running stuff, some photography bits. It's just not going to be in the form of a series the same way that the Copenhagen Marathon diaries were. It's going to be more one-off videos around certain things. So I've got quite a lot of good ideas coming up. One idea I was chatting about the other day with Danny was looking at getting toxic on Strava and going segment hunting, so you might see a video about that soon. Also, I'll definitely going to be trying and working on putting out some more photography stuff soon, because I'm really happy with how my photography videos have come out so far. So yeah, going to be a bit of a mix of stuff, but yeah, not in a particular series, but I will be still looking to post videos regularly on here. So if you like what you've seen so far, thank you so much for sticking this out. Please like and subscribe, come say hello in the comments, and if there's any of my videos you've not caught in the past, go back and watch them. If you've somehow ended up here without seeing my race vlog, go back and watch that, see how I get on. I don't think I've ruined it by saying that I struggled a bit in the last 12k, so go back and watch that. I've been chatting for a little bit of time now, so I'm going to leave the video there. Once again, thank you so much to everybody that's watched this far. Really appreciate everyone on Strava that's given me kudos and said well done, to comments on Instagram or messages or in person saying well done and asking about how it went. I appreciate every single one of you. It's so kind that people are taking the time to ask about something that I'm really passionate about, even though people don't always give a shit. I really appreciate that people take time to ask how it went, so thank you all so much. If you are new here, I'm Joe. I make videos about running and photography, and hopefully you'll appear here soon to come back and watch my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one.